Hey guys, this is Mike Deportes, and you're listening to True Chicago Sport Fans podcast.
We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you'll be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
This is Enrique Calderon coming to you from True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast.
Y te lo dice
Enrique Calderon.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yes, sir.
This is the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line.
In this segment, we discuss the biggest Chicago sports topic of the week. And this week, it is opening day, baby.
Yes, sir. Opening day baseball. Once again, we are joined in studio by Anthony Fuentes, coming over here all the way from New York.
New York.
I live in Illinois now.
But I mean, you know.
New York.
New York. You technically.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Ladies and gentlemen, baseball is back, and the Cubs, who was supposed to be the bottom of the barrel, are actually
we didn't say, I never said that, and you didn't say that.
I said
people.
People.
Who are the people?
I'm not a people. So anyway, yeah, I mean, like, you know, they're out there beating up on the Mets. On the Mets.
Whoa. Shots fired.
I see where we at. You're going to wake up and you're going to be like, damn, in New York, I burned my house down. I don't have to. Fuck.
He's like, all this stuff here is really flammable.
I already did recon here, so I know everything's at.
Yeah, but no, beating up on the Brewers. I mean, looking at the way that they're set up right here, you know, I think, like I said before, I knew it, because the Cubs are going to surprise a lot of people, smack them in the face, and that's exactly what they did. Beat up on the Brewers in Game 1, beat the shit out of them in Game 2, physically and mentally.
Yeah, well, what was all that riffraff about?
The riffraff was about that fucking people from Wisconsin are trash. That's what that was about. So they went there. Here's the thing. Wilson Contreras gets hit every single fucking game at this point. Every time.
He's Jose Abreu, like, yes, he gets hit all the time, yeah.
The Milwaukee Brewers have hit the Cubs more times than any other team in the last 2 years. It's something like 47 times. You go back and look at how many times Anthony Rizzo kept getting hit. I mean, you know, watching New York baseball, you see that now.
Yep.
And you see Wilson Contreras out there. So finally, it wasn't Justin Steele. What the kid?
Steele was the other day.
Yeah. So is the kid? Oh no, it was Keegan Thompson. Keegan Thompson went out there.
He's great at SNL.
Keegan and Keel?
Yeah, Keegan and Keel.
That one too.
Anyway.
Nickname Kegels.
So he goes out there. They're already up like 9-0. He throws a pitch inside. McCutchen jumps back. And he gets back in the box. Keegan comes back in and fucking hits him. Now, granted, fair enough, he hit him in the ass where you're supposed to hit him.
Okay.
And here comes McCutchen down the line. Who's behind him? Contreras. Nope. You guys deserve. Now, McCutchen is brand new to the Brewers. I mean, he's bounced around since his day with the
Pittsburgh, Phillies.
Playing with Philly.
Yeah.
He's been around a bit. But he came out after the game and says, well, the Cubs are trying to intentionally hurt somebody. Stop hitting our fucking guys. And one of the things was that even this early in the season, 2 games in, now 3 for today's game, I mean, you're talking about the fact that, like, even if the Brewers pitchers are hitting Cubs players unintentionally, it's about time. It's like, look, man, even if this is on accident, knock it the fuck off, man, because we're about to get in your ass. And that's what they did.
Yeah, a curveball, a slider that, you know, it slips out of your hand and it hits him.
That's understandable.
That's understandable. But if you're throwing 95, you're trying to hit my guy.
To hit him,
And guess what?
Especially what's his name when he got hit in the knee. That's a dangerous injury. You could have hurt him.
Hap got hit in the knee.
Yeah,
Hap got hit in the knee.
You could have caused him some serious
And
damage.
that guy's had injuries.
Yep. I mean, I especially in Wrigley, you're over here coming down playing the little brother role because you're so sick about the Cubs. Everyone loves the Cubs. People in California love the Cubs. It was WGN brought a national audience to the Chicago Cubs.
They don't love the Cubs in New York. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean that's because I don't know. Y'all got problems. I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey, listen, I gotta say this. Had it not been for Harry Carey, I would say some bad things about the Cubs right now. But I'm gonna respect that. Now, you guys, you know what? I'm surprised you guys are doing this well because last year you guys were all pissed off when you got rid of all these good guys.
Here, this is what I'll tell you. Halfway through the season, we watched the Cubs go from first place when they had Baez and they had Rizzo and they had Bryant and they had all these players, right? And they sat there and what did they do? They pulled the fucking Chicago Bulls and they pissed down their leg so that by the time it came for a trade deadline, right? You're losing 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 games in a row. And you want to complain about the guys who went on that long ass losing streak are no longer on your team. Yeah. You talk about the fact the biggest comparison that people had about the Cubs when they won the World Series is this is going to be the '85 Bears all over again, where they're not going to be able to get that magic and the lightning in the bottle again. Because that team was a very good team. I mean, you're talking about MVP players, very very good players. A younger Anthony Rizzo. You know what I mean? Not 7 years later. You're not talking about a guy in his 30s. You're talking about a guy in his middle 30s.
You guys had Chapman as your closer.
I mean that team was put together so well, and I think that one of the biggest problems is that it was at the cost of some of the other younger minor league players that they were not able to hold on to. I mean, yes, they had Soler that year, but they had to trade him, try to get a closer the next year. You had to trade over at Gleyber Torres to try to get Chapman over here, and what did he do? He went right back to the Yankees.
Yeah. Now it doesn't matter. You got the chip,
and they got the chip. But this is what drove me nuts is that when you looked at just the same way that I only paid attention to the Blackhawks when they started getting good, a lot of these players started coming out, well, my grandpa was a Cubs fan, so that makes me a Cubs fan. That's not how that works. You're a fan of who you're a fan of. And I will never knock someone for coming out the woodwork to start being a fan of a team when they do good because it's nice. It's nice to see that your team is getting recognition by casual fans, by diehard fans.
He said my grandfather was a Cubs fan. Like the Cubs are so old, right? They're like one of the oldest things. They're like Ulysses S. Grant.
They're 130 something years old.
Yeah, I mean,
they like Ulysses S. Grant was a fan of the Cubs. Adam, wasn't he? Didn't Eve kick him out because he was cheering?
Yeah, he had a Cubs hat on top of his wig.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I'm excited baseball is back. I'm excited we're at full capacity. Yes. I'm excited to see what this brand new crop of players is going to do because, like I said before, you only got 3 players on this team that were part of that World Series team. When you talk about Wilson Contreras,
Hendricks.
you talk about Hendricks, and you talk about Jason Hayward. People are still trying to kick Hayward out the door. I'm like, y'all need to chill with the Hayward hate.
He was the first one down the line.
He was the first. This is you, especially considering the fact that you are rebuilding this team. You have a bunch of young guys. You have a bunch of guys that were in the minors finally getting their shot. When you look at Frank the Tank, when you look at Patrick Wisdom, these are not young guys. These are 30 and 31-year-old guys. Yeah. So they're finally getting their shots in the bigs. They're taking advantage of it. You got Nick Madrigal fresh off coming over from the Sox, finally getting healthy. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting team. And you look at specifically Hendricks, who can be the anchor of your pitching staff, who's going to be your leader, right?
Are you keeping Hendricks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now, we have to see. Here's the thing: we have to see what's going on halfway through the season, right? Just like anything else. But I think that, right, like this is why I feel like a guy like Hendricks, why a guy like Hayward, why a guy like Contreras is so important to this team. At the very least, you do have to have some anchors, some veterans who have the experience, the knowledge, leadership. What it's like not only to be a Major League Baseball player, but to be a Chicago Cub, because there is a certain prestige whether they're doing good or they're doing bad. There is a certain prestige to being in the Chicago Cubs, and to be 3 players that experienced a World Series in this city, in this stadium for this team, it is important for them to be able to teach the new young guys what that's like. I mean, I was just talking about Michael Hermosillo. Did you ever hear about that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, because
I follow both teams.
But that's what I'm saying. Before he started, I never heard of this guy.
Not until he got to the main roster.
That's what I'm saying. He is out there making a name for himself. Seiya has been killer so far. I mean, 3 games in.
You don't say.
You don't say. Sunday today, he smacked his first home run, a 3-run homer. I mean, I was worried about what he was going to do in the bigs, regardless of what team he went to. But this guy is going to give you a shot in the arm, and it's going to bring Cubs fans back.
Speaking of say, I want to apologize for taking him in the draft in front of you.
Right before me.
Yep, and I did that on purpose because I knew you were going to draft him.
Well, that's okay because you drafted. You told me, and I didn't realize you had never played fantasy baseball.
I've never played fantasy baseball. I have no idea how they score everything.
But man, I'm watching you pick some. I'm like, yep, go ahead and take him. I'm going to take the better guy behind him because fantasy, like you look at the player on the field, it's not the same as the stats he puts up. That's the big difference.
I have no idea as to what I was doing.
Well, I mean that's clear. So I'm not going to cry when I beat you.
It's okay. We're not paying for it.
There you go.
Next year. Well,
you give me a year under my belt. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
So my question to you for the Cubs: are you keeping Contreras?
Yep. Yeah.
Because they couldn't come to an extension.
Here's the thing. To me, you do whatever you have to do by hook or by crook to find a way to keep Wilson Contreras on this team. I've said multiple times that he needs to be the Cubs version of Yadier Molina, especially in the Midwest, especially looking at what they were able to do after all these years. Another guy on the Cardinals forever is Adam Wainwright. Adam Wainwright has resurrected his career after being shitty for a couple years. He's came back. He's in his late 30s and he's out there killing it. I mean, we don't want to talk about fantasy. He's one of like the top 15 pitchers in the MLB.
Yeah.
So Contreras,
Cardinals are geriatric right now.
Contreras to me is an extremely important part of this team, and they have to find a way to do whatever they can to hold on to him, because it's not only beneficial to the players that are on the team right now on the big roster right now, but also any other players that you have coming up. When you look at pitchers, I mean that's the biggest thing for the Cubs for a long time is that they haven't been able to have their own homegrown pitching staff. Right? They've always grabbed them from somewhere else.
You were in that Theo model. The Theo was like, I'm gonna homegrown my infield and my outfield, and I'll buy pitching.
Yeah.
And whatever. There's different philosophies and there's different ways of getting a championship.
Opposite of what the Mets did.
Yeah.
Because the Mets built around pitching.
We built around pitching.
Well, the White Sox are the same thing. They draft pitching, they develop their pitching, and they trade for hitting.
Right.
So, I mean, there's one philosophy or another. There's no correct way. But I wanted to ask you, since you're the New Yorker.
I got to say it like that. Hey, so much emphasis.
That's because that's the way you say it.
I'm just saying. I don't talk back about the White Sox.
No, I'm not talking. I'm not walking here. I'm walking here. I'm not talking about how bad your team is. I'm saying.
Listen, you're a soccer fan. You can never.
Oh, man.
Try to criticize my Mets.
No, I'm not criticizing the Mets. My question was, during the pandemic, was your teams crying poor because they're one of the two most valued teams out there?
Where's my team? What?
The two highest valued teams out there in the world. Do they cry poor?
Yeah.
The
Mets?
They cry poor, saying they don't have enough money to spend.
Bro, because the Mets don't. If you think about it, when we got rid of Shea Stadium, right?
Yeah.
We had to take a loan. Remember that?
Yep.
After that, because we couldn't even afford the stadium.
Yep.
People think Mets,
to get City Field.
Yeah, Mets don't have money like
that. It's I've never been there, but it looks beautiful.
It is beautiful, but we ain't the Yankees. We ain't got the money like that.
Well, we're the same thing. We're the White Sox. You don't have that money either.
But you have to remember too. Look at the history of New York. You had the Brooklyn Dodgers. You had the Giants. You know what I mean? So there's been so many teams before the Mets. And the Yankees are the original team in New York. You know what I mean? They own New York. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They do run New York.
Same thing.
Doesn't matter if we have a better year this year. We're not going to be the Yankees ever. Okay? I accept that. But yeah, we were crying poor because we could barely afford things then. What makes people think we can afford now? We haven't had a good year in forever, bro.
But shared revenue makes money, which means everyone gets a cut of the pie.
Yeah.
So if the Yankees overspend and they put that into that taxes, that gets divided within the 32 teams.
Yeah.
So the Pirates are making money. Tampa Bay's making money.
Yeah.
So why isn't New York?
Look at the market they're in, though. You just said it. Florida. You know what I'm saying? Pittsburgh. They're
you're looking
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
We're talking about New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? New York is one of the most expensive places in the world.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
New
LA
York,
is expensive.
New York and LA, right.
LA is expensive, but New York is ridiculous.
I know.
You know, you're looking at $7 for a gallon of milk. You know what I mean? Cost of living is absurd.
It is.
Rent is absurd. Real estate, forget it. So imagine what the Mets are paying.
What is it like? Like $18 for a beer or something up there?
So imagine what you're paying for real estate.
Jesus, that's a fucking 24-pack.
So imagine what you're paying for real estate. You're already losing money for real estate alone. And the Mets don't sell out every game. We're not the Yankees.
No.
You know what I mean? You look at the games we have, there's a lot of empty seats there every game. You know, a lot of Mets gave up They're just like, man, the rest of them are probably so old they probably just can't even get to the stadium. It's just it's a bad market we're in, and unless we start making moves now, which is I am excited about a little because we got some good players, we got some talent that can start, but we got to get our fans back. That's the problem. How do you do it? By winning.
Yeah. You got to put a winning product on the field.
But if you're not winning, you're not making money.
So it's really, literally, it's just like the White Sox.
Yeah.
It's literally just like the White Sox with a little brother in the shadow of the big brother, the other pinstripe team. Yeah. You know, they have all the notoriety. They have the fans that are nation or worldwide.
Yeah.
And the only way we're going to get people in our stadium is if we're winning.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar.
For crying out loud, our New York teams don't even play in New York. They play in Jersey. Yeah, the Meadowlands. That's how bad it is to get real estate in New York.
That's because, you know what I mean? It's just
that's a common thing in the NFL now.
It's just like Chicago.
Or
the problem
hockey
is
too, right?
Yeah.
Hockey, they're in New Jersey.
Yeah,
Yes.
The problem is that everyone literally lives on top of each other.
Yeah.
In New York, in Chicago, in Boston. And you have these old... Because here's the thing you got to remember. It's not like West. Out West, where everywhere you go, there's just
spread
space
out
everywhere.
Yeah.
Here, everyone was trying to get close as possible to the water, right? So that's why you got everyone's butted up against the water because that's where the jobs were, right?
Exactly.
That's where all the shipping jobs were. So that's where they built the living, you know what I mean? But let me ask you a question. So, I mean, I think the consensus favorite to win the NL East is Philly.
I would say that, yeah.
For the moves they've made.
That outfield is dangerous.
That is a dangerous
team.
team.
What is...
Oh, my God.
Team. They're a very dangerous team.
What's your prediction for the Mets this year?
Wild card?
Well, I think we will make it at least wild card. I'm hoping we do. Then I don't have to wear Yankee hats no more.
Oh, that's
right,
true.
because it takes you off the hook. Even if you get in by the back door.
Postseason. We didn't say how we was going to get there, but I honestly think we can make it to the playoffs if we can stay healthy. It's all on if we can stay healthy, but it's a lot of it is on DeGrom because he's already hurt. A lot of it is on our batting. Our batting's playing really good so far. We've had our batters are up to date. I mean, Pete Alonso's been having a great season every season.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's a beast, and I'm glad we got him. And you got Lindor. I think Lindor is a great pickup for us. I love Lindor in the Mets. So I do see us making it to the playoffs. Do we get far? No, I think we're out by the first round.
I would have loved to seen Javi stay with the Mets too.
I would have
especially
loved
with
it.
him and Lindor.
I would have loved it, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. We didn't have the scratch for it.
That's a shame. I mean, we had Mike Deportes on here talking about the whole signing with Javi over to Detroit and the money that he made.
I think the girls in Chicago were more sad than the actual fans of the Cubs.
I'm going to be honest. The Cub fans are very attached to their players.
Yeah,
the
but
2016.
the women were more sad. The women were more sad.
Yeah. For all three guys that left,
My daughter has a crush on Baez, and I'm just like, why? You know, have you ever watched baseball? No, Dad, I've never seen a game. How the hell do you know Javier Baez? Because he's
I got 2 words for you, man.
Good-looking guy.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I got 2 words for you: broke and bankrupt. That's how you end up when you end up with a Kardashian.
A little bit more than that. You got drugs too.
Listen, if you're an athlete, and you date a Kardashian, prepare to end your career.
Oh yeah.
Because if you look at their history, they are the succubus of the NFL, NBA, and any sport. You look at Reggie Bush; his career was over the moment he met Kim. You got Tristan Thompson, another one. I mean, shoot, Lamar Odom went back to crack. He was like, shit, I'd rather smoke rock than deal with this broad. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the history. I mean, Kanye West lost his cartoon mind, after that. He was already a little crazy. Now he's just borderline out of his freaking mind, Yep. So, I can't even say I'm attracted to the Kardashian because I think
the Kardashian black hole.
That's the good thing for Pete Davidson because he's already a little off his rocker. So, I mean, that's perfect for him.
No, I guarantee. Give it about 2 years. They'll be like, Pete Davidson is in rehab for the 4th time this year.
But that's what I'm saying. He was going to do that anyway.
And now he watches soccer.
Now he watches soccer.
Now he watches soccer. She'd have messed him up so bad. He watches soccer now.
Shit.
So now, again, we're talking about opening day baseball. I think we're all excited about baseball for it to be back, for it to not be restricted as far as like who can show up. Because even this time last year, you had limited capacity in the stadiums.
It's good to see
no one respected that shit opening day.
No, shit.
Especially not for opening day.
People are hugging each other.
Maybe day 2.
Strangers and shit.
No, man, they were like, opening day, you can only have 20,000. I guarantee you there was over 40,000 at the White Sox Stadium.
It's opening day baseball. It's what every kid looks forward to.
And we're outside.
Yes. Yes.
We're outside.
I'm glad to see fans in the stadiums again, man. It's good to see them there. Good to see them.
Yeah. Speaking of opening day, today is, when this comes out, it's going to be a Tuesday. And it is White Sox home opener. Yes, sir. Yeah. Your boy will be there. That's right. Oh, crickets. Oh, okay. Crickets. Oh, my God.
You know why? You know why? Because the joke that I wanted to say, I'm going to hold off on. I'll tell you off the air.
Okay. No, awesome. All right. So the White Sox.
I got no beef with the White Sox, though.
You got a little beef with the White Sox? Why?
I said I got no beef.
Because we're very similar to the Mets.
Yeah. You guys suck just like we do. And
yeah.
You're the baby brother. But you guys got a good squad this year.
We got a good squad. I think last year was the squad, the year that they could have pushed through and actually got to the championship. Yeah. I think everyone got better this year. Yeah. Everyone got better.
My favorite White Sox team, I kid you not, I remember watching them when I was younger, is when you guys had Joey Cora, Frank Thomas, you had Ozzie Guillen, Robert Ventura.
Jack McDowell, Wilson Alvarez.
That was a great squad.
That was in 93.
Was a fun squad to watch.
That was the World Series strike.
Yeah. That was.
94 strike, yeah.
Yeah.
But 93, Jack McDowell won the Cy Young Award. It was the same team. They ran it back to back. And that's when they had the cutoff. Yeah. Remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
I love that jersey.
So if the White Sox make the playoffs this year, it'll be the first time in team history they make the playoffs in 3 consecutive seasons.
Yep.
Ever. Wow. They've never done that.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's hard to do in baseball. It is. Baseball is a very hard sport. People don't understand that. It is very hard because it's not luck.
No,
it's all skill, but it's also like you could just have a bad game
or trip over your bag in your home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck up your shit.
All right, loser.
Well, speaking of that, like we have AJ Pollock, who we just traded for. He's already on the IL, expected to miss 10 games. Giolito, who opened the season, who was supposed to do the home opener today, which is Tuesday, whatever, also going to miss another 10 days. Lance Lynn is out there on the IL. Joe Kelly, Yoan Moncada, Yasser Mercedes, the Crotch Rocket, and Ryan Burr, along with Jonathan Stevers. So we have literally half of our team on the IL already.
Damn, that's hurtful.
I mean, it's early.
But it's early, yeah.
It's early enough where we can recover.
The season literally just started. It was 180 games?
162.
162 games?
But it's expected with a short amount of spring training games.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, sure is. And it doesn't allow you to ramp up, especially for pitchers. I think the hitters will be okay. It's just the pitchers that need that extra time.
Well, and then they didn't get enough. They really didn't get the proper amount of time to go through spring training either. Because at least with a batter, like you can figure it out on the field. Pitching, I mean, because pitching is such a physical but also mental thing. I mean, we've seen pitchers get the yips. Yep. Was it Rick Ankiel from the Cardinals and had to become an outfielder?
John Lester can't throw it first.
Yeah,
that's the yips.
I remember that.
That's the yips.
Yeah, he figured it out later.
He did, but still, it was bad for a while.
It took a while. So, I mean, that's the thing is that pitchers, and here's the thing in general. Like, baseball players are weird, but pitchers are just fucking nuts. They're wildest.
They eat the same thing. They put on the same socks.
So much superstition.
Oh, the superstition is ridiculous. Yeah. Another note for the White Sox, Micker Adolfo, which I really like on the White Sox, cleared waivers. He's going to AAA Charlotte. He had no options. Again, this is another piece that they can use to find more pitching towards the middle of the season. I still think the White Sox will make more moves to improve the pitching.
I think you have to. I think you have to.
You literally have to push in all your chips at this point. We're going for the championship.
So now here's the question. When you mentioned that word championship, I mean, if the White Sox do not win the World Series this year, is this season a failure?
Yes, 1,000%.
Really?
1,000%. Because look at you let go of Carlos Rodon. He had 11 strikeouts in his first outing with the Giants. That dude is a monster, and we just let him go. Dude didn't pay him.
But you got a lot of good teams out there. You still got Atlanta. Atlanta's no joke.
Atlanta's they're not a.
You don't think they'll do good this year?
I think they were lucky enough to get through a couple of good bounces, but they're a good team. But I still don't see them beating the Dodgers again.
Here's the thing about the Braves is that they lost Freddie Freeman, who was
that is true.
You know what I mean? And where did he go?
Big loss.
Where did he go?
Yeah, to the Dodgers.
He went to the Dodgers.
So when you talk about the White Sox not winning the World Series is a failure in the season, I don't see how they beat the Dodgers.
That's true.
I don't see how they beat the Dodgers.
Okay.
Dodgers made a lot of good moves this offseason.
Okay, Dodgers made a lot of good moves the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But if the White Sox get to the World Series, that's a success.
Okay.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
So do you think that's considered a success for the White Sox organization? That
to get to the White Sox, yeah. I mean, get to the World Series, yes.
So what if they What if they make the ALCS but don't quite make the World Series?
No. For me, I what the hell?
So
Damn,
you
Milwaukee.
think
I think it's World Series or bust
Or
at this
bust.
point. Yeah, because it's time. These guys are aging out.
I don't know about aging out. I mean, who's aging out?
Abreu.
That's okay. Who else?
Okay, Tim Anderson's not going to be young forever either.
That's
Okay. But how old is Tim Anderson now? He's what, 26?
28, I think.
You know what I mean? You're talking about guys who are either not yet in their prime or right in the middle of their prime.
Yeah,
you have a
28, turning 29.
That's what I'm saying. You have like a 5-year window right here to win the World Series.
But you got to pay these guys.
Yeah.
That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. You tell Jerry to stop being a fucking cheap ass.
Oh, first of all, we're not being cheap. We're top 5 in salary.
Okay, but you
can't say it's cheap.
If you're saying that you have to pay these guys, I honestly,
We don't have Dodger money. We don't have Cubs money.
Well, figure this shit out. You got 2 teams. Sell one and do it. You know what I mean? Whatever you're gonna do.
Who's the other team?
Jerry owns the Bulls and Jerry owns the White
Jerry
Sox.
Reinsdorf
Jerry
owns
Reinsdorf.
the 2
Giant
teams. Yeah,
You're not selling the Bulls.
but you get what
Why
I'm saying.
would you?
But my point is that you do whatever you can. You find that money. You know what I mean? You find to do, and I think a lot. I mean, I won't speak for White Sox fans, but I'm going to ask you. You know, I think a lot of White Sox fans had the interpretation that they would spend more money and get some more other free agents that were out there that could have been available to them, and they didn't go after them.
No, are you mad that they didn't get the big splash? They didn't get the Castellanos or the Kyle. Yeah, of course. I wanted Kyle Schwarber last year. I told you that, and I thought he would have been a great fit for us because he can hit home runs over right field all day long. He hit it's no longer a goose. The goose is out. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. The goose is out of right field. They took in Zal Miller right now. But you needed that banger and clanger that can hit home runs for you.
So what was the last thing the White Sox did last season?
What do you mean by that?
How did they end the season last year?
Oh, they got bounced out in the first round again.
So you're telling me that if the Chicago
But it
White
was pitching.
Sox, the year after getting bounced out of the first round, after being shitty for what? How many years? Since 2005?
2008.
Okay, 2008, the last time they made the playoffs before, what, 2 years ago? You're going to tell me that the White Sox, who lost in the first round last season, making it to the ALCS, is not a successful season?
I don't think so.
I would.
I don't think so.
And that's the problem.
Because you're going to lose a lot of these pitchers.
And that's the problem, is that what you want. I got a whole bag of cookies, right? I was able to, they only allowed me to eat 2 cookies this year. You want to eat the whole fucking bag of cookies. You don't understand. You only get a few cookies at a time. You have to take your baby steps. You get to the top by starting at the bottom, right?
Okay.
So now you're about halfway up the stairs. You're not going to just break your fucking leg trying to get to the top. You still have to take those steps. These players, you got to remember, a lot of these players that you're relying on right now, aside from Abreu and Tim Anderson, a lot of these players
Are still developing.
They've only been in the league
developing.
1 or 2 years. Lubob
Yeah.
still needs some time, right? Look, Eloy, you still need time.
Yeah.
I think Lubob has a potential of running for the MVP this year.
Everyone has potential. If you're a good player, every good player has potential to win the MVP. But you have to.
That's the definition.
But it still has to be built.
player,
They're
right?
still
That's what I'm
building
saying.
there,
Every
bro.
player
They're still
needs to
building,
find that
and a lot
corner.
of these young players, like you said, you got Abreu there. That's good that you got these guys because they can be those mentors, those young guys. They don't really have to be that productive as the pressure was on them before.
No.
They still have to play good. You know what I mean? But they're
Now
more
you
of
have
a
help.
mentor role. You got a mentor role. You're building these younger guys.
I'm not worried really about the players like the outfield. I think the outfield is pretty set. Once AJ Pollock gets back, he's a good player. I think the infield is set. I think bringing in the second baseman they brought in, what's his name? Son of a biscuit. Anyways, the second baseman they brought in, he can play shortstop. He can play third base. That's fine. They've been plugging holes like if you're on a boat and it's got a little hole in it. That's fine. My concern is the pitching staff. You didn't add another big arm.
Yeah.
And that was a problem last year when they faced the A's. They didn't have the arms to go there. Rodon was hurt, and they put him out there out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that you look at what the last 2 White Sox managers, last 2 White Sox managers.
Ricky
Renteria did not do their pitching staff, especially in the bullpen. Any
he could
favors,
not handle
especially in that
pitching
wild
staff.
card. And the same thing with old ass LaRussa. He doesn't even know who's on his card because he can't fucking read it. He's had cataracts for the past 15
But
years.
he's got great handwriting.
No, that's cool. Look, Josh Harrison.
Josh Harrison, yes,
Harrison
thank you.
is a good player. I mean, is he an all-star player? No, but he's going to be a solid player. He plays solid defense. He has a decent bat. I mean, you bolstered your bullpen bringing a guy like Joe Kelly, your favorite guy.
Yeah, Mariachi Kelly.
The Mariachi. I mean, you got Kendall Graveman. You are going to miss the crotch rocket for sure, just because of what he's been able to do in his short time in the majors. But I mean, like, I think that you do have a solid team, but you're looking at I'm
looking at the rotation. That's what I'm scared about. The rotation. You got Lance Lynn, who towards the end of the season
already hurt,
and then again already hurt again. You got Giolito, who bulked up and added 20 pounds of muscle and this and that. First outing, hurt. Cease is going to be, I told you, he's got the most filthiest stuff on the staff.
Yeah.
He's going to be your number one in a couple of years.
honestly.
And after that, who's on Keiko? You can't depend on Keiko. You can't depend on Lopez.
Keiko is undependable.
Velasquez was going to no, fuck that.
No,
man.
Keiko is undependable at this point, and he's been struggling to find what he had in Houston for a couple years now. Lance Lynn, I mean, again, he was always he was a name, and it was a welcome addition to the White Sox. But it's not like you're talking about some like amazing all-star guy. At least, and I mean,
he was running for the Cy Young for a bit.
With the White Sox, but before that,
Nothing.
I mean, he was like, okay, he's your number 3 in St. Louis. He wasn't like some crazy, like, great player.
No, he was an innings eater.
And I compare him to John Lackey, but at least John Lackey early in his career did win a World Series with the Angels. So he had a bit of pedigree. One player I think could be the wild card for your rotation is Kopech. Because Kopech right there, don't forget, he had that year where he was injured, and then he kind of had some weird mental thing where he got married and got divorced, and he had all this weird shit that was going on with him.
He had depression, anxiety.
Right. So, I mean, he could be the wild card, but 100%, I think that Dylan Cease is so important to this rotation this year. And I still think that you guys are at least one starter away from really, really making that World Series push.
I really agree. I think we need one more stud to put all the horses together. And then you can worry about the rest. I mean, you can fill in the rest with like you said, why am I so bad with names? You got the addition of Vince Velasquez, who's going to do the opener today. Again, we talked about Cease being the filthiest stuff. Kopech has been going back and forth. Right now, I think he's going to be slotted at the 5 spot because I think Keiko's going to fall out of favor. I don't see Keiko pitching the entire season with the White Sox.
He's a guy that if he can find it, he'll be great, but he's got to figure it out, man. That's the problem with him. He's just, I think he's in his own head.
I think he's like a 15-year-old boy virgin. You know, he's looking for the spot. He ain't gonna find it.
So let me ask you. I mean, we already know about the bet. How many Yankees hats do you actually own, or is that the same one for 4 years?
No. If it was the same one for 4 years, forget about it. I'd be
You all
stinking out
dingy?
crowds. I got about 62 of them. Yeah.
That's a real number?
Yeah. I'm a hat collector. I love hats.
I am too. I got 3 coming.
All of us are.
I love hats. I got hats for days. I got boxes of hats.
I just ordered
Now-
from Baseballism.
Yeah.
They had the Holy Cow hat.
Yeah.
And it's basically a cow wearing Harry Carey glasses and it's like,
Oh, that's cool.
I can't fucking wait for that
That
thing
is
to
dope.
come in.
Now,
I just ordered it yesterday.
As far as I'm concerned, once the Mets do make the playoffs, I will be burning all 62 of those hats.
Whoa!
I'll be burning them. They'll be done.
Wow. That's a
Singeing
lot of
them.
money to burn.
Yeah.
It's like
I'll take
$40
piss
a
on
hat,
them while I
60
burn 'em.
something.
That's okay. It's worth the loss.
Woo!
It's worth the loss.
Does your friend have to be there for the burning?
Oh, and I'm gonna video it to him. I'm gonna send it to him.
No, you should have him give him the lighter.
Yeah, right. You light it. You light it. Yeah.
No, man. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, baseball's here. I think we're all excited. We're excited to
It's
be
gonna be a
back.
great season. It's gonna be a great season.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And look,
Whether your team does good or not, I think it's going to be a great season. I have a feeling, we're back to 162 games, right? Mm-hmm. And
in
fans
person.
are excited. People are allowed to go to stadiums again.
Mm-hmm.
Beer's getting drunk. It's going to be a freaking great time. I think this season is going to be a great season because they say you don't appreciate something until you lose it.
Yep.
And we've been losing it for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Baseball's been losing. So now that we're back to where we are,
Go support your team. Go
man,
support your team. Go out there.
your
Go
team.
out there.
Support the owners. Support everybody. This staff that working there now. The ticket sellers, the
beer vendors.
the beer vendors, all that. Come on, help everybody out. It's gonna be a great season though.
I couldn't say better myself. Get out to a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Support your team and appreciate the fact that baseball is back. And that's
The bottom line.
And that's the bottom line.
All right, fans, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yes, sir.
That's right. It's that time again, brother.
Uh-oh.
You know what time it is.
Oh, boy.
It's time for Stirring the Pot.
All right, man. With our special guest in studio today via way of New York and then now living in Illinois doing your thing, we're putting the reins in your hands. Give me a food that you like that you think most people don't like.
I'm going to give you a snack. So I started diet recently.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm in a bad mood.
And it's not the New York teams.
And it's not the New York teams. It's this freaking diet. So, buddy of mine I served with in the army. He's like, Ant, you got to cut down on all the good shit, you know, because that's what diets are, to make you suffer. It's like diets are like the movie Saw, you know? Like they put you and just torture you because, you know, you made bad choices in life. So mine were cupcakes and ho-hos. So now I'm eating healthy shit like broccoli and kale.
You eat too many ho-hos, you'll be in trouble anyway.
Yeah. So now I'm, you know,
they got shots for that now.
Yeah.
They do.
So he's like, oh, you should.
Valtrex.
Yeah, so he calls me. He's like, hey, you know what you need to do? You got to do keto. I was like, listen, I don't want to learn karate. I just want to fucking diet. Right? So he's like, nah, you got to cut out sugar, whatever. So he tells me about protein chips. You know, he's like, do protein chips or do the chicharrone, pork rinds.
Pork rinds. Yeah, we do that all the time.
I love me pork rinds. I will tear pork rinds up. But when you're forced to diet, all of a sudden pork rinds don't taste good. You ever notice that?
Yes.
It's always when you can't eat shit that you're like, man, I wish I had this because these pork rinds are disgusting. Meanwhile, any other day, I'm eating them by the bagfuls. So I go to the store and I find these chips. They're called Wild Chips. WILDE as an echo. Okay?
Okay.
So I get the chips because the name sounded good. It was fried chicken with sea salt.
Okay.
So I was like, damn, fried chicken. I can eat some chips that taste like fried chicken. High protein. Get home, pop them in, you know, smoke me a blunt. You know, I smoke, you know, I'm getting ready to watch the fight. Grab the, you know, sad protein chips. I'm like, shit, wild my ass. I eat one and I fell in love. I was like, holy shit.
No.
Yeah. So I'm telling my daughter, I'm like, yes, these taste like freaking phenomenal. They taste like real fried chicken. I look at the bag, and it says 100% natural chicken breast.
Wow.
See, look at both of your faces right there. That silence, I get that from everybody when I tell them this. They're 100% natural cut chicken breast.
Okay.
And they turn into potato chips. They even got a waffles, chicken and
waffle.
I'm dying to try that one.
So you just talked about this, and I just pulled it up on the interweb. They have Nashville hot chicken.
Yep.
Pink salt and chicken.
That's the one I had.
Okay. Sea salt and vinegar chicken, and then buffalo chicken.
Well, I see the chicken and waffles one right here.
Yeah, they do have chicken and waffles as well, yeah.
I fell in love with them. I give them to everybody else. They're like, this is disgusting. I'm like, dude, it's chicken and a chip. What the hell else could you ask for?
All right. So,
I mean, they're pretty expensive. An 8-pack is $52.
So
here's the thing that I will tell you right now. I am just turned 41 years old. About this time last year, I was recovering from all the fucking pandemic food that I ate.
Yeah.
Because what did we do when the pandemic started? They're like, hey, stay home. You're like, wait, I could stay home?
Yeah.
And everyone got excited. And what we do, we tried the whipped coffee. Everyone making fucking your own dulce de leche cakes all the time. And you know what I mean? Like, oh, I could put bacon on it. Yeah, I got bacon. Hey, guess what? I can get as fat as I want. No one's going to see me for a year.
Everyone bought an air fryer.
Yeah.
Yep,
And started making all types of crazy shit in your air fryer.
I was going nuts making shit. I
so-
turned into Chef Boyardee.
So about this time last year, I went through keto and I lost about 30 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, I was getting close to 3 bills.
You're realizing that's not helping me sell. You're not selling me now. If it only lost 30 pounds.
But at that time, well, and then I started kind of going. You know what I mean? I was like,
okay.
all right, cool. So I will be first to answer this one.
Of course.
Yeah. Now we did eat a lot of pork rinds because I mean, like Z was with me. You know what I mean? He was with me all the time. He eats over here every Sunday. That's
He's like, if I'm on a diet, Big Z, you on a diet.
yeah, and that's what it is.
He's like, you're on keto too, motherfucker.
Like, you're about to
on
be-
Sundays.
I'm trying to turn Big Z into Little Z. So yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what. And I'm getting ready to go back on that journey because we were in Tennessee. I'm eating cookies. I brought back the best chocolate covered peanuts I ever had.
Oh my God.
And I'm mad because my daughter's friend like got into the box and ate most of them.
Yeah.
Shout out little Maggie. It's her birthday today, so I'll give her that. That was your birthday gift last
Happy
week.
birthday, Maggie.
And I'm in, man. I'll check these out. I mean, I don't know about the price. Here's the problem with all the keto food, all healthy food in general. Why is that shit so much more expensive?
I was just about to say that when you mentioned that, Big Z.
Because like
Because healthy shit is expensive.
You
They're
see-
like, not only are we going to make you suffer,
But you're
and
gonna pay
can't
more.
eat good shit, but we're going to make you pay more for the nasty shit.
So you can pay nothing for good tasting food like hoes.
Yeah.
But you know where you pay it on? Medical bills.
Yeah.
You pay it on the back end.
Basically.
all right, so Z, you going for a spin on these?
I'm down. Let's do this. Let's
Okay.
do this.
All right, so we're in agreement on this one. Now, I will give you I'll give you a tip right here.
Yeah.
Do you drink coffee?
I love coffee.
Okay, now here's the trick. And during the pandemic, like I said, we were making that whipped coffee, which is basically
Yeah, I seen it.
equal parts instant coffee,
Yep.
hot water, and sugar, and then you whip it. And I actually made some in Tennessee
Nice.
for the because it's good. You can put and then what you do is you fill a glass with ice. And you fill about halfway with milk, and then you put your whipped coffee on top, and then if you want your Kahlua or whatever you want to mix with it, it's fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so the trick is that instant coffee, you put whatever your teaspoon in your cup, a little bit of hot water to dissolve it, and then get you one of them protein shakes. They got the chocolate whatever, and use that instead of cream and sugar. Use that in there, mix it up. It's got a ton of protein in there. It'll fill you up.
Really?
Breakfast, man.
You
right
lost
there.
me at protein milk.
No,
No,
it's-
not protein milk, like the protein
no,
shakes.
The little shakes,
Protein
the little shakes right there.
That you buy the muscle milk.
Yeah,
and all that.
exactly.
Same
yeah,
shit.
That's okay. I'll
It's-
stick to Butella. I don't need that shit.
No, I'm telling you.
I'm a Bustuelo guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, right? I mean, like whatever coffee that you like, put that in there, and then add that instead of your cream and sugar, because it has a sweetener in it, no sugar, and it's filling.
Yeah.
So you're not sitting there looking for something else to eat later in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you don't need a donut with your coffee because you drink that and then it fills you up.
Yeah, what I started doing now is cheese
Cheese,
with my
yep.
coffee.
Cheese.
Yeah, my mom would do that.
Fucking love it.
She would put
That's
cheese in her
Puerto Rican
coffin.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little cheese, a block, cut it,
Yep.
nice up, and cheese and coffee will do you right.
Cheese. Here's the trick about keto though. Eggs and bacon, and you're like, oh, it's just no. The problem is that'll fuck your cholesterol right up.
Yep.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's the trick of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with keto, like a good low carb but high fiber is popcorn. Popcorn is great for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Fills you up.
and it fills you up, and it's high fiber, so you get all that shit out of you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, So this one, I'm in on it. But again, the problem is
let
that
me
shit is
rephrase
so
it.
expensive.
He said I should go keto. I didn't go keto.
I'll tell you what.
I said he said I should go. I didn't
telling
say
you,
yeah to
hey,
that shit.
take-
He lost me at sugar. He was like, yeah, you can have this. I'm like, damn, for real? And bacon. Oh, shit, bacon? And eggs. Oh, eggs? Yeah, you just can't have sugar. I hung up on him. I was like, fuck you. I'm done talking to you.
Hey,
I
I'm
blocked him on Facebook. I was like, you're not done. I'm done with you.
I'm with you, but I will tell you, even if you do it for that short little time,
Yeah.
Here's the biggest thing is potatoes, rice, and pasta.
Yeah.
Cut that shit out.
The greatest things in life.
I know.
We're
I know.
Puerto Rican, man.
Yeah.
I understand. Hey, bro,
I was
That's so
made.
hard.
you're
I
talking
think
to someone
it's-
who's Caribbean, bro.
Hold on.
You're
I-
not
You're right
telling
down
me
the
about
block from
rice
us.
and
I
beans.
know.
Hold on.
We on the same block.
I think we were made. It's in our DNA. We got blood, rice,
Yes.
Yeah.
and pastas all inside of us.
But that's what I'm
how
saying.
we're
Hey, take for just a couple months. Bro, I'm telling you, like in 3 months, I lost 30 pounds.
But you know, I've been losing weight. I mean, I cut a lot of shit out that I can't have before.
Right. And that's the thing is that once you
But it's
come
depressing
back,
when you smoke weed and you're like, what's to eat for munchies?
Yeah.
that's the thing.
You know, a
but the pork
protein
rinds.
bar. Get the
Just the
fuck
pork
out.
rinds. Pork rinds, man. That's a good for that.
Yeah, but you get tired of it after a while.
You do.
They got different flavors.
Yeah, they do.
I didn't try them all. I hate them all. Did them all. Wild chips is helping though. Wild chips is good.
You know what it is too is that like you get bored and you start eating because you're bored.
Yes.
I got nothing else to do, and that was a big part of the pandemic.
It was about bored for me. I just wanted to eat. People were like, "What are you doing for the pandemic?" All these people were active and shit. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
So
what are you doing? I'm eating.
Let me ask you though, like one thing I noticed for myself is that as I get older, like even if I got a big meal,
Yeah.
I can't like I'll get about halfway through and I'm like I'm tired of eating.
No, I push through.
I can't. You know what?
I'm like, you know what? I'm not a quitter. Quitters quit. I don't quit. I fight through. I unbutton the pants. I'm like, everybody back up. This isn't going down.
Watch this.
Yeah.
It's like,
You might want to get your cameras out for this. This is going to go viral on TikTok.
watch me
I'm about
move
to
a
do
table
something- I'm about
with
to
no
do-
hands.
Yeah, I'm about to do something amazing.
So what I'll say is when it comes to that, I found myself I'll like especially if something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
About halfway through, I'll stop. And I'll come back about an hour and I'll finish it.
Yeah.
And my logic is number one, I don't want to feel too bloated. I want to have room for my beer.
Yeah.
But number two, if I like it enough, I get to enjoy it again. That makes sense?
I'd rather enjoy it the first time. I don't need it twice.
Yeah, that's
I eat food like sex. You get one round out of me. That's it.
One good round.
Yeah, there's no going to be no laters and let's do it again tonight. No, you get one good one and you're done. That's it. You better enjoy it and make the best of it because that's all you're getting.
Oh man.
After that, I'm taking a nap. I'm going to bed. That's it.
Smoking a blunt, getting
Smoking
some
a blunt.
more munchies.
Yup,
that's
I'm good.
That's nap time right there. All right, y'all. Before we go, what you looking at? What are you watching that isn't sports? Z, kick us off.
Oh man, again, Moonlight or whatever. Yeah, Moonlight, whatever that show is. It is really wild because I don't know the character. I don't know the comic book. So watching that, and this guy has the what is it called? The something disorder. So this
Schizophrenic.
well, it's a
Multi-personality.
but yeah, kind of like a multiple personality. It's like a personality, the disconnective disorder, or some shit like that. It's called.
How many episodes have you seen of this show?
2.
How do you not know what the fuck? Like,
Because I'm watching 17 shows at the same time.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem. Keeping up with this fucking segment, man. Ptolemy Gray as well.
Ptolemy.
I know I was saying Ptolemy last week because that was funny.
Ptolemy.
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 Yes, Ptolemy Gray. Samuel L. Jackson. It's a show on Apple TV. Essentially, he's an older man with dementia and Alzheimer's and so forth. And he's given the opportunity to take this experimental drug and he recovers all of his memories.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's Samuel L. Jackson. It's not, motherfucker Samuel L. Jackson, but,
Yeah.
Oscar-winning Samuel L. Jackson. And, yeah, I saw that. It's a really good show because his nephew gets actually killed in the first couple episodes. I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, it's already over.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And that's one of the main sticking points and how that goes forward. Yeah, spoiler alert.
No spoiler. He's like, he dies at the end.
Yeah.
No,
he
it's
loses
talking
his
about,
mind.
I just talked about his nephew being passed away. But it's a good show. It's about 8 or 9 episodes in. I think it's going to do one more and they're done. But it's a really good show. And I think the last one got really emotional. Just you have older people in your family, your dad, your uncles, and you talked about grandfathers and stuff like that. When they're at that stage, you and especially in the brown and black community, we take care of our own.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you see that, and then my grandfather. Again, I told Eddie this. I don't know how old he was.
Yeah.
There was no birth certificate.
Damn.
That's how old he was.
Damn. They're like, how old is he? Born. That's it.
Right.
Old.
Yeah, he was there before the buildings were erected.
Yeah,
so there was no paperwork.
Paper
so
didn't
what?
exist yet.
No, paper didn't even exist.
Chisel that shit out.
Yeah.
I got the bedrock in my drawer. You want to see it?
Yeah, so
Hey, Fred.
when my grandfather would come visit, and then it was at the late stages, he would remember bits and pieces, and he would
Yeah.
tell stories, and he would stop and then tell a different story. And I'm like, wait, but I was interested in this story.
Yeah.
But he can't go back to that channel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my grandfather passed away. And we dealt with the dementia and so forth. So,
Yeah.
so you're watching that, and that's a really good show. And then lastly, last night I couldn't sleep. I had a little bit of anxiety, and it was keeping me up. So I watched Top Gun.
Wow.
Can't go wrong with Top
Dude,
Gun.
So I watched Top Gun on VHS like probably about 2 months ago.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
I got it out there, man. I mean, I couldn't remember. I didn't really remember it from being a kid because we didn't.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, but we watched. My dad's from Jamaica. We used to watch James Bond all the time because he loved fucking old British TV shows.
Yeah.
I know every fucking James Bond movie,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, like the American movies, we didn't watch that shit. Like,
No.
My wife grew up like watching all the horror movies, and I'm like, really? Like and I watch them now. I'm like, this shit is so corny. Like, how is this scary? But I guess back then it was scary. So yeah. I mean, Top Gun is definitely a winner. Top Gun is
And the new one's coming out this summer, so I was like, let me keep...
Maverick and Goose.
Yeah, that's right. What do you watch?
I watch porn. There's a new porn out that came out. Nah, I'm just bullshit. It got 3 dicks.
There you go.
Porn.
There you go.
No. Actually, I've actually been watching a show on Apple Plus called Eyes or See.
See.
Really good show with Jason Momoa
And Dave Bautista.
and Dave Bautista. I was like, that was already the selling point. I was like, you got Dave
I was
Bautista.
3 episodes in, and then I stopped, so I'll give it another
Yeah,
shot.
I
pulled
watched
an
it.
Eddie.
It was good.
I did put in Eddie.
Yeah,
Eddie started 45 different shows. He watched 2 episodes, then he forgets about
I've
it.
watched every show that ever existed that one day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I turned it on 3 episodes, and then the next day I completely forgot that I watched it. And
I
then,
hate watching shows when there's that person you watch with and they're like, yeah, let's watch it. And then they fall asleep 5 minutes in.
yeah, that's
I
me.
hate that.
That's me.
I used to do that with my ex. She used to, I'm not sleeping. Wake your ass up. You know, like I already watched the
And then-
episode. I'm rewatching it for you.
Yeah.
And then you're getting shit because you watched the episode.
Yeah. Oh no,
Why'd
I
you
figured
watch
out
it
a trick
without
to
me?
that. You know what I used to do? Because she used to be like, "Oh, I'm up," and argue. You know, they always say, "I'm up." All right, cool. So I would watch the whole episode. I wouldn't give a shit. I watched 2 of them shits. Next day, I'd be like, "She like, wait, I don't remember this. Don't you remember? You said you was up. We watched this. Remember? I said, hey, wake up. You said I'm up. I watched this. You remember this? And then they're like, oh yeah. All right, let's keep going.
I remember.
Yeah, that's how you
You
get them.
remember? I remember.
It's called reverse psychology. Use their own weapon against them.
There you go.
But I watched the See, and then I'm a movie buff. I love movies, so I love Top Gun. I just watched the new Morbius. Which
How
was
is it?
Actually, really good. It was actually really good. I'm not a
The
Jared
crit-
Leto fan.
Me either. And the critics are shitting on the movie.
Yeah. I'm not a Jared Leto fan. It was decent. It was pretty good.
It was decent.
good.
It was better than his Joker performance.
Anything is better than the Joker performance.
Oh my god, that was
Wow.
fucking horrible.
Horrible, horrendous.
I
It was
still
bad.
haven't seen that.
You don't watch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh,
That
that's
one was
amazing.
actually good.
That was
one actually good.
amazing.
That was good. I watched the Jared Leto one when he played it in Suicide Squad, and I lost a piece of my soul. Somebody died that day. I was like, damn.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, it was
All
horrible.
right, E, what are you watching?
So last night I put on a rated R movie, not knowing it was rated R because it had teenagers in it. It was a high school movie, but it's called Metal Lords. It's about 3 young people.
I saw that in the queue.
Yeah, three young people. One kid is like, it's metal, it's super hardcore metal, and the other kid's like, I'm kind of a dork, but we've been best friends since I was like 4.
Yeah.
So like, and then they bring in this girl who's literally the most badass part about this movie is she's literally playing bass on the fucking bass, like the
Big ass,
stand up
the big bass, yeah.
classical bass, yeah.
Oh my god! So the
Damn.
music was kick ass. I watched it with my daughter. I put on Netflix, right? And they're like, "What would you like to watch?" And then they play a preview real quick. My 11-year-old was sitting there, and we were gonna watch the Adam Project, which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Good movie.
She had seen it already. I was like, but this had popped up, and I was like, you know what, music, let's watch it. Fuck it. And then there was like a couple ass shots, and there was a lot of drinking and stuff like that. And I was like, cover your eyes. Don't worry about it.
Aren't those awkward moments, right?
Don't
Yeah, but
watch
kid,
that part.
think about when you were 11, how much shit we were way past that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
James
yeah.
Bond, Octopussy. That's what.
Yeah. 11 years old, I was already trying to watch. Remember back then, Like you had cable and it was the
scrambled,
wavy lines.
yeah.
And you're like, I think I saw a tit.
Yep.
That was a tit.
Yep.
That was a tit. Oh no, that was the guy's chest. Never mind.
Wronged it.
Shit, now I'm gay. I think I'm gay. I watched this.
Like that was quick. Yeah. So and I also watched. Of course, I watched SNL. I'm a big SNL.
I gotta
fan.
watch.
Everyone knows.
I gotta watch the episode this week.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal coming back after a 15-year absence. He in his monologue he talked a little bit about method acting, being a little bit serious when he took on the role of Nightcrawler and things like that. And you could tell that he actually mentioned that he's back to enjoying acting and the fun aspect of it again. Really some really funny skits on that one. So definitely, you got to check that out because
Tonight.
you should have watched it this morning so we could talk about it. But yeah, Camila Cabello was the musical guest, and her second song of the night, she had Willow Smith up there, who is actually a really, really good musician. She's a really good singer. She was up
Will
there.
Smith's daughter, right?
Sure is. She's up there. She's got the same bald head up there. So I don't know about J.I. Jane, but she's up there playing the bass and like singing. She was belting it out, man. So and then the first song, I think Camila Cabello is Cuban, so it was a very like Cuban.
She's
style.
trying to incorporate a lot of the
Which is
live,
awesome.
like
For
Yeah,
the mariachis and this and that. Because there's a video of her singing mariachi. I was like, damn, bitch, you good.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's mad respect for the two of them. I'm in a SNL Facebook page, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this? I couldn't understand what they're saying." I was like, "Well, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
That's a you problem because I understood everything." And some dude came back, and I wasn't directing that towards anyone specifically, but someone came back, and of course, it was
He loves to fight on Facebook.
Well, I'm
I
just
see that. He's that
Oh
guy.
my God, he's the bully on Facebook.
And the thing is that
He's the type of fun. He's the type of tough guy. He's the typing tough guy.
No,
He's like,
no. It's more. It's like if you take it that way, then you take it that way. It's whatever it is. But I'm like, I understood what they were saying. They're like, and they're like, well, I bet you were also listening to dubstep on your AirPods when you're mowing your parents' lawn. So I sent him a picture of my fucking setup, which y'all both seen the fucking. And I was like, no, I actually just don't appreciate people who just shit on music for no reason.
Yeah.
And fuck you. I love dubstep, says Deadpool.
But I was actually looking at that because that's cool that she's on there and she's incorporating Spanish because SNL doesn't really represent Latinos a lot. I was looking that up.
Horatio Sanz.
In 44 years, they've had 3 Spanish cast members on SNL.
I know Horatio Sanz is one.
They got Melissa Villaseñor
Villaseñor.
right now, and I don't even know the third one.
Yeah.
Who's the third one?
I don't know. That's a good question. I just know there was 3 of them.
Yeah, that one I'm not
I mean,
sure.
I know Villaseñor was current, and then Horatio Sanz was
Fred
before.
Armisen.
Oh, Fred Armisen?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was Hispanic.
I don't know. He was
He's not even fully. His mother's Venezuelan.
There you go.
So he don't even count. They've had 2.5 Latins in 44 years.
They've had like one.
And we've had a lot of funny Spanish guys.
Yeah.
We've had
John
George Lopez,
John
Leguizamo, Freddie Prince, one of the greatest comedians of all time in my book.
but
Anthony Fuentes, one of the best. SNL.
That's my
Hey.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I will say about that is that in the United States you have Spanish is your second language, right?
Yeah.
There's Spanish television for that.
Yeah.
So you're talking about marketing towards an English speaking audience,
You're looking for crossovers.
right? You have mostly white. You have a lot of black cast members. I mean, the longest running cast member in SNL history is Kenan Thompson, and he's black.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I mean? And you have an Asian. Even for a long time they didn't have very many black women, and it's just who didn't make the cut. So that's what that was. But yeah, I mean, like the last thing that I actually watched it again this morning. One of my favorite movies is Cop Out with SNL alum Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis. And specifically, I mean, if I see it. If it's on TV, I'll put it on, because I like to pay homage to the show. To homage, yeah.
He got Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah,
brother.
coming over here up to the top of the rope and a Macho Man Randy Savage.
Cream of the crop.
Never to a Slim Jim.
Yeah, so this last week, it came out that Bruce Willis is going to be retiring from acting,
so
67
sad.
years old. So I mean, like,
So no more Die Hard movies.
no more Die Hard.
He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yes.
Die Hard. I have watched Die Hard religiously every year for Christmas. I watch part 1
Thank
and
you.
2.
I was going to ask him, and it's already answered. It's a Christmas movie.
Christmas part 1 and 2 I watched.
It's
Die
a
Hard.
Christmas movie.
He was the one. He was the. He was the John Wayne of our era.
Oh, definitely.
He was the Duke
definitely.
of our era. You know, all these other superheroes, they're all freaking buff. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger fought an alien.
No, he's a regular looking dude.
Yeah, they make things impossible. Like, you look at The Rock. The Rock fights like 15 guys in one movie, beats them all up.
Yeah.
Not a scratch, you know? Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger fought the Predator. He fought a robot, a freaking alien.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And beat the alien's ass. You know what I mean? Like, but when you saw Bruce Willis, you see him get hurt.
He was the
feet
everyman.
cut.
Yeah,
he
he's-
was the guy like you cheer for. He's like, man, I want to be 40
the
years old with a
underdog.
pop belly saving my wife out of a burning building.
And the thing is that in more recent years, you've seen Bruce Willis do more comedic roles. I mean, if you remember back in the
Absolutely.
day, he was with Sybil Shepherd in the show Moonlighting. And that was like
Great
his first
clap.
big break.
Yeah, that was
And then-
before Die Hard.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
was his first big break
Absolutely.
of being nationally recognized as an actor. But I mean, recently he's done more comedic roles. I mean,
all
you
his
know.
movies that were comedies were great
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
What is it? The whole 9 yards?
Yep.
The whole 9 yards? The whole 10
was
yards?
it Tin Cup, right? Was he in Tin Cup? Or was he in Tin Cup?
He was in a movie called The Kid where he met a younger
Kid,
version.
where
of
he made a
himself. It was
version of
really,
himself.
really
I know
cool.
exactly that movie.
So yeah, so he was diagnosed with aphasia, which is impacting his cognitive abilities. So he-
Speak.
and a lot of people have been recognizing it in his more recent years
Yep.
that he was having a little bit of issues, and they had to kind of scale back his role in a couple movies and things
Yeah.
like that. So, I mean, you know, like I said, 67 years old. I mean, you know, it's not surprising that it sucks that it's happening to him. But
It
you are
is.
getting close to 70 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that I'm hoping that it doesn't lead to a rapid decline in his health overall.
Yeah.
Because I mean, 67, yes, you're getting older, but you're not that old. I mean, especially when you're 41 years old.
Shit, the
want-
president's
we
older.
Want, we want Bruce around for a while.
Yeah.
I want
Right,
Bruce Willis
so-
to be around for
Yeah.
a while. He'll always be one of my favorite actors. Like I said, and I will always continue to watch Die Hard every Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So I'm sad, but I'm happy that he is. There's a lot of stuff for us to watch with Bruce.
Yeah,
Willis.
definitely. Classic.
Even his B movies are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I can watch his B movies and be like, oh, that was a
Alright.
decent movie.
You could put Bruce Willis on anything, and he was awesome watching him do it.
I was a big, especially with Split.
Split was
yeah.
fantastic. That whole series was fantastic.
Exactly. Your Glass, Split, and I forgot the other one.
Unbroken.
Unbroken, yeah.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, yeah.
Unbreakable, yes.
Yeah, that was the first one, right?
Yes, I mean, like, you know, even Red recently, Fifth Element, Armageddon,
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, one of my favorite movies of all time.
All
Pulp
time.
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction's great.
My favorite movie of all time, Last Boy Scout. I mean, it's like his
He's got a Hall of Fame.
his
movies.
Yeah, his filmography is just amazing. I mean, even in
Look
the,
Who's Talking.
Expendables. Yeah, I mean, just so many
Sin
great movies.
City.
The Wish.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like,
Death Wish. Death Wish.
Death Wish, yes.
Death Wish. He was even that. He did Death Wish, bro.
And that's a remake from
Charlie Bronson.
Charlie Bronson. Yeah.
Charles
Charles
Bronson.
Bronson. Yeah.
And Charles Bronson was that kind of hero.
That was my dad's.
was-
That was my dad's dude. He's
Every
like,
Spanish guy who grew up Hispanic or whatever, old school guy, loved Charles Bronson.
And then
Every guy.
my dad used to look like him.
Yeah. Funniest part was Charles Bronson wasn't even Hispanic.
No.
He was German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, Anthony, I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Oh man, thank you guys
I mean,
for
this
having me.
is
It's
just-
been an honor being here.
It's so much fun, especially when we have comedians, because I'm like an amateur comedian. Most of my comedy is dad jokes, but every once in a while I come up with something clever, especially all the shit talking I do. So before we get out of here, man, you know, you mentioned a couple times about your time in the military. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I served in the military. I served for 4 years, fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. It was a great experience. You know, I grew up, you know, kids like us, we don't get to travel the world. I got to see the world, you know?
Yeah.
I had purpose. I found purpose in the army, you know? Defending my country was one of the greatest experiences I could ever ask for. I met some brothers. I've met some great brothers that to this day are my brothers. You know, one of them came and surprised me at a show Friday. We got shit-faced together. You know, it's just talking, you know, about all the good times we had, the shit we went through together. You know, and that ties into my comedy. That's actually why I became a comedian. When I got out of the army, you know, I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And, you know, this was therapeutic for me. And you put your pain onto stage, you know. I learned that from Mikey O, my mentor. Shout out to Mikey O. And he told me, use it. Use the pain, put it on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it since. And being a soldier is what made me where I'm at in comedy, because there's a lot of moments you want to quit. It's it's not easy being a comic. People come up to me, what do I need to do? I tell them, ruin your life for the next 10 years. And you can be a
And then you have material.
yeah, but not even that. It's just, you know, there was open mics driving to. I worked 2 jobs. Would drive to an open mic every night. An hour and a half away to sign up to go to this open mic and do 3 minutes. You're not getting paid for this,
Right.
you know? And there's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. But being a soldier and a veteran is what got me through it, because the moments I wanted to quit were the moments I said, no, you can't quit. You know,
I mean,
so.
I got to tell you personally, like I'm a big comedy guy. I mean, whether it comes down to, like I said, I'll show you the collection, but I mean, I have Johnny Carson, I have like old Abbott and Costello.
John Panetti's one of my favorite comics. George Carlin.
George Carlin,
John Panette, though, is one of my all-time. People getting shocked when I say John Panette because they expected me to say Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. I love those guys. Yeah. I grew up watching them. Yeah. But John Panette was just on another level. I used to love watching John Panette. May he rest in peace.
I appreciate comedy maybe more than other, because I mean, you can everyone go up there and like understand, it's funny. What's funny is funny, right? Yeah. But I mean, I personally, like, being such a fan of comedy, I think I have a different understanding, a different relationship mentally with comedy. Yeah. And I've always kind of had that in me where I'm like, man, I would love to get up there one day. I know, I understand the sacrifice and the time and the grind and shit. I mean, you could be funny 1 minute, the next minute you just can't find it anymore. It's just like anything else.
The joke can hit here, and then you go to another place, and the joke won't hit.
It's such a difficult field to be in. It's such an incredible skill to have. So personally, I appreciate what you do in other comics, and it's really great. I love coming out, seeing you guys, at Joe's, and when Mikey O brings us out to events. He's been fantastic with us. Just the same the way that he's been with you.
The biggest fucking heart.
Yes.
Well, I always tell people, Mikey O's why I'm a comic today. Yeah. He gave me my first opportunity when nobody else would. I was different than other comics. I was loud, obnoxious. I was,
like Mikey?
Basically, yeah, we were twins. But, and my comedy was different from others. And I had just started. So in comedy, it's always who you know. They got these people, and they already got their roster, like Laugh Factory. And I would do open mics. I never got in. Now I'm a regular at the Laugh Factory, which is a blessing. Regular at Zany's, regular. But these came because of Mikey O. Because when nobody would give me a shot, I did things different. I would send people videos on my open mic, and I was told, you can't do it this way. You got to start this. You got to make a page. And I was like, listen. The internet didn't exist when Eddie Murphy was a comic. Nope. The internet didn't exist when George Carlin, John Panette, Rodney Dangerfield, George Carlin,
Dice.
Andrew Dice Clay. You look at Johnny Carson. Yep. And the list goes on and on. Seinfeld. All these guys didn't have this internet shit, but they did it. Yep. So I live by the words of Frank Sinatra. I do it my way.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So I did it, and I continued until Mikey O was the one that reached out to me, gave me my first guest spot, August 27, 2017. Joe's on weed. He said, I'll give you 5 minutes. And you guys know Mikey. Mikey is quick to the point. He ain't got time to fuck around. Nope. He's like, hey, 5 minutes, August 27, 2017. Be there. And I got my first 5 minutes. Yep. I got my first 5 minutes. And after that, I took a class with him. He started doing a class. He's like, listen, and that's why I got mad love for Mikey O. If you haven't been to a Mikey O show, go to a Mikey O show. They're amazing, and he's such a good dude. He does so much for the community. He did a lot for me. He would be on me like, hey, you're cussing too much, or you got to take this out. You got to build this. And I always took it because as a soldier, you learn to listen and then apply. Problem with these kids nowadays, they want to listen and talk while they're listening.
They listen to argue.
Yes, exactly.
Not listen to understand. And that's a big issue.
Be quick to hear, slow to speak. So I would take that from Mikey and listen. He told me to do a class, sign up for this class. 3 days in Chicago. Barely had enough money to even pay for the class, but I didn't.
Where was the class at?
It was in Chicago. I live in Round Lake.
No, but where? At the
the Miracle Center, I think it was called.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go do this show, these classes, 3 days. Again, I'm working my ass off. I scrounging to make this money just to pay for the class, but I didn't tell nobody because you keep that inside. I was taught to hold your pride. So I go to the class first 2 days. Half the class showed up the second day. Third day comes. And, shit hit the fan. They didn't have no one to watch my kids. And I called Mike. They were in school at the time. I called Mike and say, hey, I ain't got nobody to watch my kids. Can I bring them with me? Yeah, bring them along. So I bring the kids. Stop, pick them up at school, running late. 2-hour drive with traffic. Stop at the store. I seen these Mexican Coke bottles I had never seen before. And the fat ass of me just had to get a freaking bottle because I wanted to get the kids snacks. And I said, shit, old school. Yeah. So I popped the bottle open, drinking a glass bottle, driving down the highway. Guy cuts me off. I slam the brakes. Bottle hits the back tooth. Breaks my back tooth. On the way to this class, I stop at Walgreens, grab a bottle of Listerine and a Pixie cup. So we got to get here. I pull in. I'm an hour and a half late to the class. Sit the kids down by this piano all the way in the back of the classroom. I have my Listerine in one hand, my little Pixie cup. I'm swishing them, you try to sneak in, like kind of like just float in there, like people don't see you, and then that's when my fat ass makes the noise and the chair squeezing, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? So I got there late. Mikey O finishes his class, and then he's giving us a speech about Ricky Rodriguez and these other guys that he's worked with, and I'm like, just in awe, because, this is a guy I look up to. I see what he's doing. And he points me out. He's like, what brings me to you? I'm like, shit, here we go. And he goes, where are your kids? I'm like, back there. He's like, how long it takes you to get here? So about 2 hours. He's like, what happened to your mouth? What are you spitting blood? You doing cocaine or something? I'm like, nah, broke my tooth. Tell him the story. He said, yeah, 3 reasons today not to be here. You never once told me you couldn't make it. Instead, you told me every reason you could try to make it. And you're here. He said, because of that, I always book you at every show I got. Any show I got. And that's what it took off. I kept, like I said, always listening. I've always tried to be a humble guy, and I always will be, because I come from nothing.
Right.
And I ain't shit. In this world, people always try to act like we ain't shit in this world. You know what I mean? But I listen. I see guys who I look up to, like Mikey O, Ellie Castro, Avi Sanchez, these guys, and I take what they teach me, and I never respond back. I just absorb it, thank them for it, and use it. And that's what's been helping me be successful in comedy is because of that. So
that's amazing.
I mean, it is amazing. I mean, the short time that we've known and we've interacted with Mikey O, I still think that he thinks I'm Puerto Rican, because every time he introduces us, he goes, the only Latino sports podcast in Chicago. You have to listen to them every time. So I think he still thinks that I'm Puerto Rican, which is fine.
You're Puerto Rican by association already, bro.
Next time he comes over, just start speaking patois. He's like, Bagwan, boy, Bagwan. What you going to do?
The problem is that I speak better Spanish than I do patois. So that's the
okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a very interesting journey to work with him.
Oh my God.
To see the things that he's been able to like incorporate with us specifically. I mean,
definitely
bringing us out to the shows. I mean, interacting with you.
The CPD nights.
The CPD nights.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
We just met Abby, like you just talked about.
We were at that comedy show with both of those guys. They were gracious to talk to us.
See Ken Gar out there.
Yeah, Ken Gar too.
Ken's a good guy.
Gwen. We've seen Gwen a bunch of times. She has a lot of we have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
We were able to go up and meet Jim Cornelison at that show and all that shit. So I mean, he's been so good to us and so generous with his time. Like I said, he came all the way out here, and then he had to go to do the show that same night. And he was like, "Are you guys coming?" And I'm like,
yes,
I am now. Shit.
When Mikey O says something, I'm like, yes,
yeah, 100%.
Yes.
I mean, like, you can't, you know what I mean? So he's been absolutely fantastic with us, and it brought us to have a relationship with you. So we appreciate you coming out here.
No, thanks for having
and
me.
Talking sports and making us laugh. So I hope the listeners really appreciate what you're able to consume right here, because this is the type of thing that you don't get all the time. So we appreciate you.
And then
I had a blast.
The people come here like, well, why do you have a comic? Hey man, just because you're into one thing doesn't mean you're into any other thing.
Yeah.
And again, I keep telling everyone that is my friend or not my friend, or when I talked about my podcast and they're like, oh, you're so passionate. I'm like, yeah. At the end of the day, one thing that I share with Mikey O is that if I can help you, I'm going to help you.
Right.
And if we grow together, we're stronger for that.
Very true. Very true.
Like you said, we ain't shit.
Yeah.
But if I can throw you a bone and it helps you go one step further in your career, I'm going to feel super proud.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost me anything.
And the thing is too is that I said this when we first episode 1. I says, if no one ever listens to this, hey, at least we have fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk sports anyway. Why not make
some of it, man? Listen, everybody, I tell people, people tell you can't accomplish your dreams because they didn't get their dream themselves.
Right.
You got to protect your dream.
They're trying to push you down because they
got to protect what you love.
Mm-hmm.
And if you love something, you got to go all out. And there's going to be haters. I've had plenty.
Oh my God.
I had a plenty. Some of the best motivation speeches I ever got came from somebody who told me I can't or I won't.
Oh yeah.
I can't will break you or leave you where you're at if you let it. I thrive on it. I tell them, tell me I can't. Tell me I won't.
Yep.
I'm going to take that I can't. I'm going to take that I won't. I'm going to turn it around.
Turn that sign bit sideways.
I'm going to show you I
Stick
can
it up
do
straight up
anything.
your ass.
There you go.
So and it's funny enough that Z's talked about it before. Is like, what frustrates me is that when you're one of your close friends, they say, how's your show going?
Yeah.
You fucking tell me.
Listen,
You tell me. Did you listen?
The best one I hear is like, oh man, I can't make it, but I'll be there in spirit. I'm like, bitch, did you die? Yeah. Because how you gonna be there in spirit?
Are you Casper now?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'd rather you spend the $10 and buy a ticket.
Yeah, man.
Support.
All right. So once again, thank you so much for being here. Tell us what you have going on and where our fans can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Anthony Fuentes Comedy. You can find me on Facebook, Anthony Fuentes Comedy. You can also find me on TikTok at Ant the Comedian. I want to promote my show I'm doing for Mikey O. I love these shows. I freaking love them.
Yes.
I love that Mikey gives the Latino community an opportunity, and he does some fantastic shows.
Yep.
People don't understand. Locals will be May 12th. I'm hosting the show at Joe's Bar on Weed Street with a fantastic lineup. We don't book, he doesn't book. Let me say that, because I ain't a book. I'm just a comic. He just says, Anthony, be there, and I'm there. But he doesn't book like regular. He books comics that are freaking hilarious.
They are.
Like, these shows are so much fun. You guys been to them. These shows,
we are.
I have a blast, and I'm the host. I'm like, shit, I just want to be here all day.
I see you walking up and down. You talk to the people. You talk to the comics right after.
I love it. But yeah, May 12th, Joe's Bar on Weed Street, locals. You can see the flyer on my page. You can see it on Michael Kendall's page.
It will be sharing it on our page for sure.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
And
again, I freaking love. I asked you guys to be on here. I was like, I want to be on that shit.
Hey,
I got Mikey O and not me. I was like, I'm funny. I was like, I was there. I was at the softball game. My Fitbit can prove it. It's the only time I got steps.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I said before, the great thing about having a platform like this is that it's one of those things where that, like, I know if we don't have you on the show, or let's say something happens, we don't do the show no more. Yeah. I know if I run into you in 10 years, be like, bro,
hey, that was
like
a great
family.
time.
You know what I mean? And that's the best thing is that when you meet
time.
these people, you start to become family, and the older you get, the more you need. So
absolutely,
it's been great having you here. And to our fans, thank you so much for listening. That is it for today's show. A huge thank you once again to our guest, Anthony Fuentes. Make sure you check him out. May 12th, Joe's on Weed Street. Locals, come out and check out the show. Check out all our social media. All the information will be there, and get your tickets and do not sleep. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at checkout for 15% off of your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts right now. And don't forget to visit our guy Danny and his crew at ACSI.tech and check out their career section to start an exciting new career in the communications industry. Go to ACSI.tech, that's ACSI.tech, and click on careers to apply today and get your spring going in the right direction. And don't forget to check out Enrique Calderon's new single. It is out now on all streaming platforms, YouTube and everything like that. Debuted on March 26th. It was so much fun.
Dos Rios, that's right.
There you go. And yeah, man, check them out. And don't forget to check out our people, the Shy Native Radio Podcast, now available on all major platforms. Mike Logic, Ideal, and Throw MC talk about sports, movies, and all types of ill shit. And of course, Do Not Sleep, Mike Logic's album, as I was saying, is now available. Check out mikelogic.bandcamp.com, MikeLogik.bandcamp.com. Logic with the K is back. Get your copy right now and check out his single video on YouTube, Solo. It is now available. Shout out to Ronesh, Panic, Serious Beats, and custom made for the beats we play on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for all your moment merch and gear. And check out the collaboration between Serious Beats and Custom Made. Really dope beat album if you're into that type of thing. I am, so go and check it out. Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Chi Fans on Twitter. That's at True CHI Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Reach out, hit the DMs with your Stirring the Pot, your movie recommendations, and just tell us what you think about the show. You can also reach us at True Chicago Sports Fans at gmail.com. All right, y'all, for Big Z and today's special guest, Anthony Fuentes, this is E-Rock, and we will see you next week for episode 92. Until then, be good to each other.
For the love of sports.
Swish.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids. Hasta luego, amigos.
Show's over, show's over, show's over.